Once again, it's Mshamba Marekani. Welcome to All Topics Considered podcast. Today I'll be talking about reasons why women date losers. The number one is father figure. Women are prone to dating men who are just like their fathers. Women date their fathers. The father figure is one of the most important pillars of a child's self-esteem while growing up. We all know girls learn how to interact with boys through their fathers, and the experience from such interactions translates into their future and in the kind of men they are likely to date. If you want to know what kind of men a woman likes, indirectly ask her about her relationship with her dad. Women who grew up around abusive fathers and or men who were never home will most likely desire to date men who have those kind of qualities. It's something that has been subconsciously ingrained in their psyche since they were young. Unmarried women with daughters should be careful about the kind of men they bring into their lives, as this can shape the way their daughters date in the future. A young girl who grows up witnessing her mother swing between partners who are all abusive to her or are losers will grow up knowing those are the right kind of men she deserves in her future, just like her mother. She therefore finds more attraction to the loser type men, just like she was exposed to while growing up. Most women fear being alone, so the reason a lot of women lie that they have a boyfriend is not always because they do not like the guy approaching them, trying to pick them up, but it's because they do not want to be seen as loners. This fear of being alone is what makes women stick around the losers, for they are afraid that they might not find someone else to be by their side. I know some of you are thinking that such a woman can always get someone because she's beautiful, but that's not the case. Fear of the unknown is real, and it's the reason most people complain about their daily jobs but do not want to step out of their cubicles and pursue something they are passionate about. Fear of the unknown combined with fear of loneliness will keep a woman around a guy who is a loser. Mind-blowing sex. If there is one sure thing that can make a woman stick with a guy for decades, then it's sex. Loser guys have mastered the art of good sex and applying it as a weapon to keep their subjects under control. If you see a woman out there with a loser kind of guy who has absolutely nothing to offer her, then 9 times out of 10 that guy is a beast in the bed. In such a situation, the woman is rendered helpless. She cannot dare imagine that kind of guy in another woman's hands, experiencing wonders like she does. To her, what matters most is not who the guy is, but what he brings on the table, and in this case, good sex. Pathological liar victim. The loser guy is not necessarily that way when he picks up women. Most of these guys are pathological liars who managed to use trickery in order to get that bond between them and their target woman sealed. On first approach, they seem like good men whom society has done wrong, and therefore women with their maternal instincts believe their lies, and before they know it, they are hooked. The losers lie to them about being in search of a good job, looking for a woman who understands, etc. Most women are vulnerable to lies and believe any word from a man who shows them some attention and promise to love. Maternal instincts. Women are more caring than men and want the best for their kids. This good quality works against them. When it comes to finding a good man, most women will ignore the guy who has his life figured out because they know he will not need them. They therefore take it upon themselves to go out of their way in pursuing the losers as they wish to provide them with care, and therefore get someone to call their men in return. Most women love to babysit men, and they feel they are doing themselves and the world a huge favor by doing so. Mothers feel obligated to fix dinner for their kids, clothe them, and protect them. So if a woman finds a man whom she can do all that to, then she finds a perfect fit. Lack of self-esteem. Have you ever seen a very beautiful woman with a loser type of men, and when she opens up about her relationship, you wonder what she finds from that guy, but that keeps her around him? Well, there's a lot of science that explains this phenomenon. Most women, no matter how beautiful they still feel less beautiful and struggle with monsters of inadequacy in their brains. They therefore feel insecure and not confident enough to be comfortable being with a man who seems to have his life together. They would rather have a man whom they have power over in terms of being beautiful and more financially capable, so as to avoid bruising their ego further while competing with other women over a good man. Beauty does not equate confidence or higher self-esteem, regardless of the lies society has fed you. Elements of control. You cannot control a man who knows his worth. Women will ignore all the financially stable, good-looking, forecast men because they know that they are going to fail miserably if they try to control them. A man who knows what he wants in life is a threat to a woman who has controlling traits. They are therefore left with no option but to fall for a loser whom they can control. And if you look around, you find out that many women have a guy who drops them at work in her car, drives it away, and picks her up again. The guy never works and spends whole day playing video games or hanging out with the boys or filling imaginary job applications. Those types of dudes are easy to control, as the woman is the one who provides them with almost everything. Learned helplessness. Learned helplessness. It's a disease not only evidenced in domestic violence situations but also in normal relationships. Most women can't help themselves around losers, and they feel so attracted to them. The losers are able to give them a mixture of good and bad feelings. It's all about the fulfilling outcome of the person giving pain being the same giving love. When a man becomes a source of pain and love for a particular woman, then he has power and control over her. He treats her like a bag of trash one day, and the next day he's that sweet, can't harm nor fly kind of man. This kind of behavior messes up with a woman's mind, and she becomes hooked to that kind of man, and therefore is helpless and can't walk away. That's why you hear some women claim that even though he beats me up whenever I go out of my line, which is normally my fault anyway, I cannot leave him as he goes out of his way to spoil me at times. You can blame society. We live in a society where singledom is vilified. Most women would rather be with any kind of man than be single. Society has a way of sidelining single women and looking at them as a source of societal marital woes. This leads a lot of women to settle for less, and less is not always the best quality. Instruments of change. Most women believe they are in the world to save men. A lot of men are living in abusive, unsatisfying relationships because they believe that they have a chance at changing their partner. Women love men who are a challenge, and even though a lot of women claim that they want a ready-made good man, in actual sense, that is not what they want. They want a man whom they can fix and turn him into a good husband overnight. They are literally living the notion that if you want a good man, then make one yourself. For these reasons, women will spend their entire life catering for a loser guy hoping they can change him and he can come back to his senses and pay her back for all the molding skills she has applied to perfect him. Mshamba Marekani.